Hello, thanks for joining me for another beer review then. So we've got the third of the 8 beers that my good friend Raggy over at Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits Reviews kindly sent me from Low Cost Beer. These beers aren't available now on that website, lowcostbeer.com, but this is a beer from Twisted Barrel Ale, and this is their Ode To Joy West Coast IPA, coming at 6.5% ABV in this kind of 330ml Panda pop type style plastic bottle. So Low Cost Beer, they generally kind of promote beers that have gone past their sell by date, all that kind of thing, so it's going to be a bit like that. This is no representation of the brewery, the way the beer is potentially in this bottle. I do like to point that out. So if there's only off flavours going forward into the review, it's out of date, it's past its best. So, but I feel obliged because my good friend Raggy sent me 8 bottles of these from low cost beer. So I'm going to give them a review, see what they're all about. Have they held up? Have they not? Would I like to try it fresh? Probably. Or is it going to be great? Either way, I'd like to try them fresh, of course. But anyway, Ode To Joy, which is Ode To Joy, it always reminds me of a 40 Towers sketch for some reason. Basil 40, or you know what I mean, back in the 70s. It just reminds me of that kind of 40isms, as I call them. Yeah, John Cleese, the famous actor from Monty Python, went on to do other things, and 40 Towers was one of the big one. Ode To Joy, and that just reminds me of that. But originally, obviously, written by Beethoven, which is their I'm trying to remember what it is. There's a symphony somewhere, number 9. Yeah, 9. And that reminds me of another kind of 40. That's Brahms First Racket. That's right. Sorry. If you know 40 Towers, you know what I mean. So anyway, Ode To Joy, West Coast IPA. Don't know what's actually involved in this beer. This saying here on Untapped it's a 5.6% ABV, and this is on the bottle 6.5. There's no other kind of they've obviously brewed this more than once. They're saying it's a one-off Christmas special West Coast IPA for 2018. I reckon it's before that. This is one after that, should I say. So what does it say about that one then? So it says a base of pale Munich and Dextrin malts supports the intense bitterness and tropical flavour of Chinook, Ekuanot, Columbus and Summit hops. I'm just going to open it up and see what we get. I'm going to put it this way because I've got electrical equipment there in case it goes properly silly. So I'm a little bit. There's a lot of pressure in these little bottles, so if it can do what it likes over there, but it ain't going nowhere near my laptop and phone and stuff. Wasn't too bad in the end. So there's carbonation running up through the bottle on that opening. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure how old this beer is. It doesn't tell you on these little bottles, so we'll have just to wait and see. There's carbonation in this one, so I've actually had one beer from these guys before. They're actually out of Coventry. I had a beer from them that Harry brought up when we had the bottle share in March. Was it March of 2018 when my good friend Paul was over from PA Bruno's, when we was all up in Manchester hotel room. Harry bought a beer up called Be Back Before Dawn, which is a 9% double IPA, which is the West Coast as well, funnily enough. So yeah. Anyway, enough about that. I'm trying to... What county are these guys in? That's what I'm more interested in. The West Midlands, so Coventry. Anyway, beer in a glass after all that waffle that you really didn't probably want to know. Get round the right way, so there we go. So it's a very kind of light copper in colour, light amber. Didn't really pour much of a head, white head on top of that, just a thin strip. There's lots of particulates just floating around. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, apart from me burping and stuff behind the beer, but there is some particulates there. It's generally fairly clear. So is it a filtered beer? I'm not too sure. I don't know whether the hops maybe have coagulated a little bit, being an old beer. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Let's get a nose on it. Lots of waffle there, wasn't there? Yeah, I mean, yeah, the hops have, I would say, certainly have faded off a little bit. There's a little bit of lemony kind of notes going on in there, but it's more about the malts. It reminds me of an English style IPA on cask. It's got that kind of feel to the aroma, but not doesn't come across boozy. There's no kind of booze coming off this. I mean, if it's 6.5% IPA or not, I don't know. Or it's a 5.6. I don't know. Ode To Joy. We'll have to wait and see. Let's give it a taste and see what we get out of this one. There's not too much on the aroma. Cheers. Cheers, Raggy. I'm just checking the IBUs to it. That's the first thing I picked up on was, oh, this is a bitter beer. Yeah, there's a bitter kick to it, straight off the bat. And then I looked and it's 70 IBUs. Whether it's 70, I mean, but this is on a 5.6% ABV. I'm wondering whether they've got this mixed up. It's 6.5 on the bottle and it's 5.6 on Untapped. Do you know what? I reckon they've made a mistake. They've got the ABV numbers round the wrong way, potentially. Because this has only been brewed the once, a one-off Christmas special West Coast IPA for 2018. I'm not being funny. If this is a 2018 beer, it's done really well. I mean, alright, the hops aren't particularly prominent. There's a lot of kind of very malty kind of notes, but it's got a lovely kind of bitterness to it. There is a little bit of that kind of lemoniness underneath. With, is it Citra? Is there Citra in this? No, it's not even Citra. Columbus, Ekuanot, Summit and Chinook. So, sorry it's about a longer review, but it is what it is this time of day. Not too bad. It's held up not too bad. If it's that old, I do think the hops have coagulated though. I don't know if you can actually see that in the dark bits. Kind of a suspended particulates there, but the bitterness is malty. It's bitter with a light kind of. It's very difficult to actually distinguish what that kind of fruity flavour is, because the predominant thing is the bitterness and the malt. It doesn't taste off though. So out of the three beers, the first one, it gone, you know. The last one wasn't too bad. This one's not too bad either. There's a little bit more of a kind of a marmalade-y kind of edge to it, like a marmalade, a deep marmalade orange kind of rind kind of thing going on in there, which is nice. There's a little bit more sweetness coming off that. But no shadow of a doubt, the hops have faded. But I don't mind this. This is drinking fairly well, which is good. After all this time, I'm more comfortable about doing these kind of beers that are out of date to a degree. And I don't rate beers anymore. Thankfully. Because I would definitely feel very... awkward about rating beers this far gone. It's not fair on the brewery, as I've said, maybe in this review or the last review. I'm still of that opinion. It's not fair. When I put these beers up to Untapped, I won't put a rating on them either. I will state that, but I will still say it's held up well, very drinkable. You know, would like to try fresh. And that's it, really. Not that, I mean, this is a one-off special, of course, but so it's unlikely it will be this beer if they brew it again. It'll be a different beer, but it's still very pleasant to drink. And only my second beer from this brewery, and the first one reviewed. So, Twisted Barrel Ale, Ode To Joy. Their West Coast IPA, and we're going to go for a 5.6% ABV rather than what's on this printed out thing, because it's actually the same label as well, and it's definitely the same beer. So we're going to go for a 5.6%. I think there's a mistake there. We're going to go with that, but either way, the beer held up very well this far out. I mean, I'm reviewing this on the 2nd of May of 2021. But thanks again to my good friend Raggy. Check him out. Check out the brewery. Everything else is down below. Raggy's linked. Make sure you sub to him. He's a very, very unique beer reviewer. He's a good beer reviewer, but he's also... It's like a proper video diary. It does his lives every day, and I implore you to go and check him out. He's a very down-to-earth, lovely man, and hopefully we'll be meeting him in August. So anyway, waffle over. Thanks for watching. It's a long review. You'll keep safe, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.